2 shots on goal away from a 10x payout. Miko just needed 2 more shots. He didn't get it done. So we went 4 for 5. But again, on PrizePicks, what's really important to understand is I'm always going to be giving out either 5 or 6 pick flexes. You're not going to see me doing 2 pick power plays. And I know this can be confusing to new bettors because a lot of people are like, oh, well, 2 pick power plays win more frequently. So don't you want to play them? Isn't it degenerate to place these 5 pick flexes? But what you have to realize is because the payout is so low, I mean, I've literally gone through the math, this spreadsheet I'll put in the description on YouTube, but for a 2-pick entry, it doesn't matter if you take overs or unders on PrizePicks, right? You're always getting a 3x payout. So what a 2-pick power play equates to is getting minus 137 odds. So essentially, when you're comparing the lines on PrizePicks to those on the sports books, if you're playing 2-pick entries, you should be assuming you're getting minus 137. So in this case, if we wanted to play, let's say, McCollum over 5.5 assists, why would I include this in a 2-pick power play at minus 137 on PrizePicks when there are a bunch of sports books? Caesars is offering minus 131. Jock Market is a PrizePicks competitor. They're offering minus 128, right? Why would I want BetMGM is offering minus 130? Why would I want to play this at minus 137? I'm getting a bad odds. I'm getting better prices on other sports books, right? So long story short, we've gone through the math, and what you really want to be going with is 5-pick and 6-pick flex. Based on the payouts, the implied odds, it's minus 119. So let's go back to this McCollum play and let's take a look, right? So when you're playing McCollum over 5.5 assists at minus 119, now this play looks like pretty incredible value, right? We're not getting minus 137, which just seemed, some books are offering better prices. At minus 119, that's an 18-cent jump, right? That makes all the difference in the world as a sharp bettor. A lot of people would be like, oh, who cares? Minus 137 versus minus 118. I mean, you're not going to win every bet as a sports bettor. Doesn't matter if you're sharp, square, if you make a lot of money, if you lose a lot of money. Nobody wins every bet. So these 18-cent differences in odds, right? That's like a 10% difference in your profit over the course of, say, a year if you're betting at 18 cents worse. So you would literally go from being a winning bettor to a losing bettor on PrizePicks by switching from 5 flex to 2-pick power plays. And there's a good chance you would go from a losing bettor to a winning bettor by placing 5 picks as opposed to 2 picks on PrizePicks. But anyways, so what the OddsJam positive EV tool does, right, is all this tool does is it goes to PrizePicks every day. It pulls in all these lines, and it puts a minus 137, which is a 2-pick power play, as well as a minus 119, a 5 or a 6 flex, to all of these lines, right? So it's constantly pulling in all of these different lines from PrizePicks, as well as all of the odds from the sports books, and it's just comparing them. I mean, it's a data-driven tool. There's no BS. That's why OddsJam's so great, right? We're getting CJ over 5.5 assists. We've gone through the math. The spreadsheet will be in the description, or you can email me for it. My email will be below too. So we've gone through the math. We know we're getting minus 118.6. We'll round up to minus 119 in a 5 flex. And we know all the sports books are pricing this, minus 140 on PointsBet, minus 130 on BetMGM, minus 146 on FanDuel, minus 150 on DraftKings. And hey, look at this. The market is crossed, right? Usually, the minus number is bigger than the plus number. That means the books have a spread. Here, the market is crossed, right? So there's actually arbitrage in the market, right? You see Bovada has minus 150. Bet Online, a very sharp offshore sportsbook, has minus 137. So we kind of look at all these data points in the market, and the way I like to think about it is as a sports bettor, what's so crazy is how fragmented this market is, right? You literally have dozens of prices for the exact same bet. All books grade McCollum over 5.5 assists the exact same way. If he has 6 or more assists, the over will win, right? If you think about the price of like Bitcoin, or let's say Facebook stock, let's just do Facebook stock, right? So if you look up the price of Facebook stock, it's 187.81. That's where it's trading in the market. It's not like if I log on to Fidelity, I'm going to see it's $250. And then I log on to TD Ameritrade at the same time and it's $150, right? This fragmented, massive differences in sportsbook odds, it's only a thing in sports betting, and it's freaking crazy, right? You have differences of minus 146 to minus 119 on this play. It's absolutely insane. We're literally getting 27 cents of improvement from FanDuel. So if you're just using FanDuel and you're betting on McCollum over 5.5 assists, you just got a terrible price. So that's the first play I went with. And I say this all the time, but the same logic that applies to betting on, the NBA applies to betting on hockey. So here it's the same thing. Logan under 2.5 shots on goal. All sports books have the under heavily favored, heavily juiced. FanDuel's pricing this at minus 152. We're getting 33 cents of improvement from FanDuel, 21 cents of improvement from DraftKings. So tons of value on this play, 1.1% profit margin. And now a lot of people will look at this McCollum play, and a lot of people will say to me, like, yo, 1.48% edge or profit margin, is that big? That doesn't seem that big. But let's go through the math, right? What you have to remember is this is so let's go here. So 1.48%, let's just round to 1.5%, right? So if you're earning 1.5%, what you have to remember is this game's today. In sports betting, if you have a 1% ROI, that's daily, right? People talk about the stock market. Ooh, it goes up 8% a year. If you can earn 1% a day in sports betting, that's 365% ROI a year, right? And it's a lot more fun. So this, obviously, though, it assumes you're putting in the time and you're betting every day. You still have to bet every day. But let's assume you're earning 1.5% a day on your wagers. There's 30 days in a month. So in a month, you should expect to earn an ROI of 45%, right? It'll be a little whippy. Don't get me wrong. It's not like every day you're going to, win all your bets or something like that. That's not how positive EV betting works. But if you're earning a 45% ROI in a month, let's say you're betting $5,000 a day, you should expect to make 2.25K profit in a month, right? Assuming this is 1.5%. Now, if you look for wagers with a higher profit margin, let's say 2%, right? Now your profit's going to go up, even though your betting volume stays the same. So you have different levers you can kind of work with. But regardless, let's go back here. So a lot of these plays I just grabbed straight off the EV tool. I mean, people are always like, oh, don't you consider how McCollum played last game? No, it's already priced into the market. Sportsbooks know any public information is priced into the market. If McCollum had a bad last game against the Kings, priced into the market. If a teammate is injured, priced into the market. The sportsbooks know, every bettor knows, it's public information, right? If McCollum's under should be the favored outcome, every sharp bettor, every sharp syndicate would have hammered it, right? Would have hammered this plus 106, plus 120, right? Until sportsbooks started taking down the odds, and then the under would be favored, right? This market is based on supply and demand. If all the action is coming in on the under, sportsbooks will move lines in favor of the under. Just like if everyone buys Facebook, the price of the stock goes up. So we have play one, CJ over 5.5 assists, Logan under 2.5 shots on goal, Bam over 19.5 points, Dame over 4.5 threes. Those are my first 4 plays, right? So now you've seen 4 of them. And you have to remember as well, more books, more betting opportunities. This play on Halliburton isn't on PrizePicks, right? You should be getting as many books as you can. There's 178 books on OddsJam. You can see the top play currently for my specifications. And if I increase my max odds, the top play is on, let's take a look, is on FanDuel with a 5.53% profit margin, then FanDuel, then PointsBet. More books, more betting opportunities. Anyways, let's go over here and I'll show you 2 more plays I'm on. So let's go over to PrizePicks. Let me show the first slip. So the first slip is right here, 400 to win $4,000 in a 5 flex, which is kind of like a round robin. EV tool. Literally, I'm just showing you stuff I bet on, and I just follow the data. There's no gut here. There's no BS here. Just data. So you can see the first 4 plays we literally saw in the EV tool, and then I have Evan Mobley over 9 rebounds. So hey, Alex, where did you get that from? Well, I found that here on the OddsJam screen. Or actually, we can go through Jokic's assists. And again, if any of these move, I strongly encourage you to just if any of these lines move, just try to create a 5 flex, right? Don't play them in a 3-pick power play. If one of these lines moves, just take one of the slips then. I mean, there's 2 slips, although 4 of the picks are the same. So here you can see Jokic over 10 assists. This is why I found it. So I use the OddsJam screen. And what's cool about the screen is it, obviously kind of highlights line movements in red and green for you. But also, what I use it for is it's a lot more flexible than the EV tool. So what I see here is, hey, PrizePicks has Jokic's assist line at 10. All the sports books are at 10.5. Underdog, PrizePicks' direct competitor, is at 10.5. So PrizePicks is too low. We want to take the over, right? We want to take the over for Jokic. PrizePicks is at 10. All the books are at 10.5. So if Jokic has 10 assists, we're going to push. Everyone else is going to lose. So again, the reason the screen is more flexible, right, than the EV tool. So the EV tool literally highlights for you the bets, right? But what the EV tool is doing is it's comparing prices, right? It's comparing prices. So here we know Bayern Munich over 3.5 team total at plus 142 is a crazy good bet because BetMGM, all these books, I mean, it's arbitrage to Bet Online, arbitrage to Pinnacle. You have really high confidence. All the books are pricing this plus 110 to plus 120. Clear value at plus 142, right? Clear value. But the EV tool is only comparing when our sportsbook setting the line at the same level, right? So here, Bayern Munich, the line is 3.5 on all the sportsbooks for their team total, right? Same with all these bets. Whereas on the screen, you're able to kind of see where do books have the line set at different levels, right? The EV tool won't compare bets set at different levels. Jokic 10 versus 10.5 assists. EV tool is not going to capture that because the line's not at the same level. You can't compare over 10 and over 10.5. You can't compare the odds, right? Because it's not the same bet. They're different bets. Over 10 versus over 10.5 is not the same bet. So you can't compare the prices. So the EV tool doesn't capture that, which is why it's worthwhile to use kind of all the tools on OddsJam. So here's another play that I got from the arbitrage tool. I hit this for $625. It's not on PrizePicks, but you can see right here. This is the max they gave me. A lot of people ask about, how did you find that bet size? Just the max they gave me. So Brzezinski versus Williams, 625 over 2.5 rounds to win 500. So they're probably limiting me to just win 500. And you can see here again, if you want to take a screenshot, 4 of the EV plays we went through, then Mobley over 9 rebounds and Jokic over 10 assists. Anyways, let's go back here. So this play didn't show up on the EV tool. And the reason is the EV tool requires there to be a minimum number of sportsbooks posting odds, right? The EV tool is designed so there has to be a lot of data points all saying and pointing to the same thing, that FanDuel is a huge outlier, you better bet that, which is exactly what you could see right there. There's a ton of sportsbooks. They're all telling you, FanDuel is a slam dunk. It looks incredible to BetMGM, DraftKings, Bet Online, Pinnacle, right? So the EV tool, you can literally blindly bet this bet in green and in bold. Harden over 6.5 rebounds on BetUS, right? More sportsbooks, more betting opportunities. Pistons first quarter money line on FanDuel. Under half of a total goal in Club Brugge versus Beneficia. And I say this all the time, bet on more sports. A lot of people want to focus on the NBA. Books are asleep on soccer. They barely monitor them. I mean, look at this freaking value on Bayern Munich versus FC Augsburg. Like, you should be all over that. But the reason this isn't on the EV tool is, again, right, because there's only 2 sportsbooks posting odds on this play. But what you're going to notice is this market is crossed, right? This market is a huge line discrepancy, 45 cent or 40 cent difference here between Bet Online, a sharp book, and then, WinBet. So what we can do very briefly is we can try to figure out, okay, what's the profit margin of this play? Assuming Bet Online is the sharp book, right? Bet Online is known to be a sharp book. Win is not a sharp book, right? So we trust Bet Online over Win. And you're going to notice this market is arbitrage, right? It's crossed. You can make risk-free money betting on both outcomes. That's called arbitrage, right? This is found on the arbitrage tool, right? So I highly recommend, if you want to make risk-free money sports betting, watch our videos about arbitrage. I just did one. Watch it in full. Literally make a risk-free 1.89%. Crazy, But if Bet Online is the sharp book, you can say, okay, we're getting minus 125 on WinBet. Bet Online's market is minus 165 plus 135. So if I go here, minus 165 plus 135, what this is going to say is, hey, the true odds with the VIG removed should be minus 146. Now I'm getting minus 125. So I'm getting a ton of improvement to what the fair odds would be from Bet Online. It's kind of like here, right? You're always getting value to the no VIG odds. You're always getting better odds. It's kind of like if you knew a stock was $9 and you could buy it for $8, right? Or it's kind of like if you knew Facebook was trading in the market at 187.88 and I told you you can buy it for 170. It's just a no-brainer deal, right? The stock market is very efficient. If I told you you could buy a stock at a 18.32 discount for Facebook, 10%, you should be all over that. That would be a 10% EV bet, right? So it's no different here. It's just like rational, logical, data-driven sports betting. So the win probability then, sportsbooks imply win probabilities through their odds. If BetOnline had more juice, let's say they were juiced to minus 185, right? The win probability would go up for the over hitting, 60.4%, but they're at 165, so 59.4. So essentially, on WinBet, we're staking 625 to win 500. According to BetOnline, the markets they're putting out, their odds are implying that this bet is going to hit 59.4% of the time. So basically our EV, and I'll try to finish up this video, it's getting long, is 59.4% of the time we're winning $500. Our bet is cashing, right? And then so then we want, this is win probability, win percentage. And then our loss percentage is just going to be right here, right? 40.6. The other side of the market, 40.6%. So then, and that is not right. So let's go here, format number, and now I'm getting annoying and way too much. This is really annoying. 40.6%. Oh my gosh. So then 40.6% of the time, we're going to be losing our stake of $625. So our EV, the profit margin of this bet, is $43. So in other words, if you tried to give me a $20 bill, I'm going to tell you no, because my bet is worth $43 in profit margin or edge, right? So then we have $43, we're staking $625. This would be a 7% EV bet, right? Just absolutely insane value. 7% EV bet, $43 in profit margin. I'm $43 richer in long-term ROI because I placed this bet. And that's really how you have to think as a sharp bettor. Like if we go to, I'm not sure why Twitter's acting up today, but if you go here, you'll see like it's not about getting rich overnight. Like I'm made hundreds of thousands of dollars on this 3.5% ROI. It's a volume game and just about having an edge. So anyways, Brzezinski Williams over 2.5 minus 125. Logan under 2.5 shots on goal. Dame over 4.5. Threes, Bam over 19.5 points. CJ over 5.5 assists. Jokic over 10 assists. Right? So that's play. That's the first play I'm on, and then just replace Jokic with Mobley in the second play. And I bet it bigger because I thought the Mobley play was better. Let's make money.